as far as addressing what I've seen online, yeah, I've seen a lot of these TikToks that have come up as of lately regarding my past.
Clayton Eckert says he's been overwhelmed and surprised by the amount of social media critics. Hey guys, and welcome back to another shared news. We've got all you need to know on how Clayton is responding and reacting to all of the attention around him since he's become the new Bachelor. But before we get into it, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you never miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host and Bachelor expert Zachary Reality, joined by the lovely Morgan Wright. And Morgan, Clayton has been seeing what people are saying about him online. He's checking the DMs, he's reading the tweets, and of course, watching the TikToks. Now, Morgan, he did say it's important he knows what's out there, but is he almost setting himself up for failure by caring so much what people are saying about him?
Oh, yeah, people are always gonna have something to say, and it's like, I think I read somewhere for every, 7 good comments you get, that one hate comment sticks in your head so much more than, all the
Yeah.
positive feedback that you get. I will also say that, Clayton didn't really have a lot of time to warm up to how social media works when it comes to Bachelor Nation, because Bachelor Nation can be nuts online. I mean, you've heard
Mhm.
Rachel Lindsay talk about it before. You've heard a lot of people talk about it can really be truly toxic. And he didn't get a lot of screen time in Michelle's season. So
Yeah.
now that he's the lead, he really hasn't had time to warm up at all to just how, honestly hateful people can be online.
Yeah, and that's a really good point because he became the Bachelor so quickly. Like Michelle's season was still going and they were already preparing him to be the next Bachelor. So he didn't have time to adjust to anything. He was really just thrown into the Bachelor universe. And as you mentioned, Bachelor Nation is passionate AF. So, of course, there's going to be a lot of opinions and comments and just a lot of content. I mean, you have to get used to people talking about you in general, whether it's good or bad. Like, he's going to get memed, he's going to get criticized, praised for literally everything. And this is what he said, because I did listen to the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast this morning, which is hosted by Becca and Serena P. Guys, Tayshia is nowhere to be found. And this is what Clayton says. He says, I think at first it was kind of quiet or so I was able to respond as much as I could, and I'm very appreciative for the whole opportunity. So I wanted to let them know, hey, thanks for reaching out. It means a lot. And then the first episode aired all of a sudden. It just opened up the floodgates at that point. I started to get overwhelmed, and I'd be lying if I said everything was sunshine and roses. I have definitely fallen victim to reading everything, which everybody's told me stop reading all the comments. But my thought was, if I know what's out there, there's no more surprises. So, Morgan, what have you seen online that you think is making Clayton so overwhelmed? And do you think that the general reaction to him and all the TikToks and everything, is this what other bachelors have gotten in the past? And Clayton just isn't used to it? Like, do you think there's a difference between Matt James and Peter? Like, is Clayton really getting a different type of treatment?
So basically, what I've seen online is people from his past, whether it be college or high school or whatever, kind of airing maybe his dirty laundry.
Listen, here's the thing. I never claimed to be some saint per se, or celibate for the last 6 years of my single life. Like, I was single.
And personally, I just never really like those type of videos. Anyways, I think the one video with the guy is kind of funny because you can tell that that guy has not watched one episode of The Bachelor. He was being real. But the videos of the girls that are like, "Oh yeah, he screwed over my friend." I'm like, "Okay, well, why are you posting this on night 1 when you have known that Clayton is going to be the bachelor for 5, 6 weeks now? Are you just doing this for clout? And if you really did screw over your friend, like, show us the receipts, sis, or don't make the video." Like, I just think that it's
Yeah,
kind of petty and lame.
me
But I
too.
will say that I feel like Clayton maybe is at the height of uh of TikTok. I don't know if it's TikTok
The
drama, but I
algorithm.
will say,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like, I remember really TikTok in the Bachelor world starting to take off during Matt James's season. But I mean, Zach, you and I are both TikTokers. I remember when I started, I would
Mhm.
make videos about Tayshia and they wouldn't perform as well as, other content that I was creating. So I feel like just over the past year, Bachelor TikTok has kind of exploded. We weren't doing
Mhm.
this about Peter Weber. Like we were not.
Yeah,
So I think that
absolutely.
Clayton is getting a little bit of the rise of TikTok, and it's not necessarily helping his case at all. Does that make sense?
I know, absolutely. I think TikTok is like this new platform, and there's this new Bachelor Nation fan base on TikTok where people are making videos that they weren't making a year ago because TikTok wasn't as popular. And I think TikTok gets messy and people feel more free to share how they feel and just kind of make certain videos that, wouldn't work on Instagram or Twitter. So I think that he is just kind of getting used to this new Gen Z way of social media. And that is just what's going to come when you go on reality television. So I definitely feel for Clayton in that way, and I also there is a lot of girls that have said things, so I do believe that when there is smoke, there's or this much smoke, there is fire. So I'm sure he was a playboy, and I'm sure he hooked up with half of Missouri. But who cares? Like he was single, he was in
Yeah, do
college,
we
and
care
I
though?
do
Because
like
I don't care.
I enjoyed that singleness. There's a period of my life where, like, yeah, I wasn't looking for anything serious and I was just having fun and enjoying that aspect of it.
yeah,
Is that
it
bad
really
that I
shouldn't
don't
matter.
care?
And no, it shouldn't matter if he screwed a few girls over in college. Like, God forbid. Everyone has a dating past. No one's perfect. He's not that man anymore. Now he's 28. And honestly, Morgan, I've reached out to a few of these girls who've made TikToks or they've, have reached out to me. And it's honestly more than once, it has not been what they actually said or what they alluded to. So it is kind of a trend and for clout. So just take everything you see on TikTok and social media with a grain of salt and remember that like who people were 5, 10 years ago is just not who they are today. And Clayton does continue on the podcast and he says, I see people are coming for me and my character and saying this guy has terrible judgment. Why wouldn't you respond to this? And the answer is simple. Do you see me in that picture explaining that if he's not in the scene, he doesn't like to know what went down. So now we're moving on from his past dating. He's kind of talking a little bit more about the Shanae versus Elizabeth drama, where he was not privy to the ADHD comments at the time. And Clayton said that if he was there, he would have done something about it. So, how do you think this is? Because this happens every season. There's always drama with the girls, and the producers don't tell The Bachelor about the drama. So it's like Clayton's now getting blamed for not speaking up for Elizabeth when he wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And it's just like, Clayton, you just kind of have to understand that you're not going to please everybody. There's going to be one person out there that thinks this is the only right way to handle the situation. And then you're going to have another person who thinks the exact opposite. So you're always just going
Mhm.
to have a million opinions flying at you. But at the end of the day, if you are, happy and understand your heart and understand yourself, I feel like at the end of the day, that's all you really need. You don't need this validation from all of Bachelor Nation because you're never going to get it. You're fighting a losing
Mhm.
battle. So, I mean, just do your best. That's all you can do is do your best in these situations.
Yeah, and it honestly, like, listening to the podcast, it really just felt like Clayton was defending himself for, like, 30, 40 minutes, and it was just like, "Clayton, you don't have to do this. You don't have to explain yourself with every decision and every move you make. You don't have to." I think a huge part of being on reality TV or just being successful and, in the spotlight or on social media is the fact that not everyone is going to like you, and people are going to let you know that. The more and more people watching you, and that's okay. And it's okay if people think things about you that are not true, because that's just what happens when you have so many eyes watching you and so many opinions. So I think Clayton needs to stop reading the comments and calm down because it really does not matter what people say that much. And you'll prove yourself and who you are shows with time. So Morgan, what advice do you have to Clayton moving forward with the rest of the season? Because that's my advice for him.
Well, it is interesting that we're talking about this because Zach, even you and I, as content
Yeah.
creators, you have talked me off of this cliff, numerous times where I am very sensitive. I get upset when somebody says something about me that I know is completely and totally not true. And you're like,
Mhm.
Morgan, you know who you are. Like, this person doesn't know who you are. So why are you letting them define you? So that's what I would say to Clayton. You cannot let complete strangers who only see an edited version of you define who you are, because at the end of the day, Clayton knows who he is, and that's all that matters. And the people around Clayton who love him, and hopefully his new fiance, if he has one, knows who Clayton
Uh-huh.
is and loves him too.
Exactly. That's 100% it on the you nailed the head on the chalkboard or whatever that saying is. Like, you really can't
I don't
please
think that's
everybody,
it.
and as who knows? And as I mentioned, like, the more eyes on you, the more critical people will be, and it's
Mm.
just, like, it really does not matter. When there's, like, 300 people that support you and you see one negative comment, like, girl, goodbye. Why are you wasting your energy commenting that? Like, maybe get a life. I don't know. But Clayton does say, to kind of round it up, while it has been such a phenomenal experience, while it was so exciting to get to be the next Bachelor, I'm now seeing that the hardest part is actually not so much the show, it's the aftermath, now watching it with the public. So he didn't have that much problems, filming the show. It's really just now that he has to live in secret and there's all this attention. So we're gonna have to see how his story plays out. Morgan, do you think Clayton is engaged? How do you think this journey is gonna end for him?
I think that he is engaged. I think that Clayton is a hopeless romantic. And whether or not that works out for him in the long run, we will have to wait and see. But I have high hopes that he's going to end the season engaged. And I think they also picked somebody that they knew would get engaged because
Mhm.
as Bachelor Nation, we've been critical of that too. Like we want these serious relationships. Like Hannah Brown didn't get engaged or married. Pilot Peter didn't get engaged or married. Matt James didn't get engaged or
Mhm.
married. So I think,
Colton.
we want the old version of The Bachelor where they walk away happily ever after. So they got to get the right guy in there who understands the assignment to find your wife.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I think Clayton is going to get engaged. I'm a little worried it's gonna be another Pilot Pete situation just because he does seem a little, like, unsure, but I'm not gonna be hard on him because of this whole conversation we just had. So we are wishing you the best, Clayton. We are rooting for your love and your happiness. And you guys can let us know down below what you guys think Clayton's future will be on the show. What advice would you give to him about reading all of the comments? Let us know and be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you never miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, joined by Morgan Wright. Our social media handles are on the screen right now, so be sure to give us a follow, come say hello, leave a positive comment on our pages, and we will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.